good afternoon. So today I'm just going to do a really quick review and sort of comparison on a couple of the more popular camp stoves that people take with them when they go out into the backcountry. So this is my tried and true. Love this thing. This is the JetBoil Zip. Kind of goes along with what everybody says about a JetBoil. These things are awesome, pretty hard to beat. What I like about the Zip is that it's really compact. You can get some of the other ones and they're a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. I like this one. I like the size. It comes with the lid. Comes with the burner, and then there's a little stand in the bottom that you use to set up, and you'll see that in a little bit when I fire these things up and try to boil some water. And then it has a little cover for the bottom for the vents there that can kind of double as a cup. I don't really use it, but in a pinch you could. So that's kind of nice to have. Whole package. It's pretty nice little package to have. I love this thing. I carried it with me everywhere I went when I was in Colorado. Every time, even if I just had a day pack, I'd shove this thing in there and ready to go, make coffee whenever I wanted. The other thing that I'm going to be testing here today is an MSR Pocket Rocket 2, and I would like to thank my good friend Derek, who's over at the Mountain Hunter Box, the monthly box club, Mountain Hunter Box. This was in one of the boxes that he had sent out. I had never really messed with one of these small little pocket-sized burners. I've used it quite a bit. Neil, my buddy Neil, my hunting partner, when we were in Colorado, this is what he carried around with him all the time. I've made a little simple upgrade to that from what he carried. He had an old Army style canteen, which was super heavy, and I mean, it was heavier than what this is. This is a GSI outdoor stainless steel mug. The Army canteen was way heavier than this. So got an upgrade here. This thing fits in this nice little canister, closes up, seals up, and it fits pretty good in that little canteen cup, or this GSI cup. So we're going to check these things out. I'm going to fire them up here in just a minute. I did want to go over some of the specs and the weights of kind of how I would pack these things if it was me taking them into the field. So like I said with the JetBoil, it goes JetBoil just like that. I put the little stand, goes in the bottom, burner slides down in there, and then a can of fuel fits real nice right down inside of there. And then I love coffee, so I always keep a couple of packages of coffee, and I just stick them in the top, put them right there in the top, and then I close it up. It's good to go. And then there's a convenient little pouch right here on the front, and I'll stick a lighter in there just so that I know I always got my lighter to fire it up. So that's one thing with this smaller JetBoil Zip, is that it doesn't have the igniter on the burner, so you got to carry a lighter in order to keep it going. So that package right there with the JetBoil, the lighter, the stand, the burner, the can of fuel, and the 2 packs of coffee, that weighs 19 ounces total. So just over a pound, just a shade over a pound for that package right there. Now, if I was to do this with the MSR Pocket Rocket and the GSI Cup, Pocket Rocket stays in this little carrying case that it comes with, and that thing weighs next to nothing. I think it's less than an ounce for that carrying case, so it really doesn't harm too much to keep the burner in there, to keep the burner from banging around and getting beat up or broken. Of course, you gotta have some way to light it, so I drop a lighter in there. This is a full-size Bic lighter. I may upgrade to one of the smaller Bics. I think that would slide down inside of that cup a little bit easier. It all fits regardless. And then I would take my 2 little pouches of coffee, and I kind of put those on the outer edges. That way it keeps, you can set the canister, the fuel canister on there, and kind of keeps it from banging around. So that's a pretty nice little package right there. it's ready to go. If you wanted to, you could put a rubber band or something over the top of it or something just to kind of strap it all together. But you can see it's considerably smaller than the JetBoil. In fact, it's lighter. So the GSI, the can of fuel, the burner, the Pocket Rocket burner, and 2 packages of coffee. This thing right here weighs 15 ounces. And then if you drop the case for the burner, the red case, if you drop that, you're down to just over 14 ounces. So you're a little bit lighter than the JetBoil, a little bit smaller package. So if you're really looking to shave some pounds, this might be a way to go right here. It's pretty hard to beat these JetBoils though. This thing, it boils water really quick. We'll see. I'm about to go outside, fire both the burners up, put the water on at the same time and see just how much faster one is than the other. I'm not really making any predictions right now because I truly have no idea. I know that when we ran the Pocket Rocket 2 with the Army canteen, it took considerably longer, almost a minute. I think it was a little bit over a minute to boil the water, more than the JetBoil. And some people may say, well, it's only a minute, but that starts to really tack into the efficiency of these fuel cans and how long these fuel cans will last. If you can save a minute to a minute 15 seconds every time you use one of these burners, then one of these cans will last you a week versus 4 or 5 days. So, all right, so I'm gonna cut it right here. I'm gonna go outside, fire them up, and I'll turn the camera on out there, and we'll be able to watch, and I'll set a timer so that we can actually time these and see how they go. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get this thing fired up, and then we'll get them going. Each one of these canisters is filled up with 8 ounces of water. So it's about what I like to normally have for a cup of coffee, 8 ounces. So let's get them started here, and then we'll crank up the timer. JetBoil. GSI. Timer's going. So the GSI is almost ready to boil right now, or I'm sorry, the MSR Pocket Rocket 2. And the JetBoil is getting pretty close also. The JetBoil is boiling right now. It just started. 1 minute 12 seconds. And the MSR Pocket Rocket's going also. That cranked up at about 1 minute 26 seconds. So you can see there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. If you're looking for lighter, more compact, you're going to be in pretty good shape with that MSR Pocket Rocket. Reliability, just, I don't know, there's something about that JetBoil that I really, really like to use. A few ounces more, packs up a little bit nicer, a little bit neater. That's it. Hope you guys took something away from this. And so when I get all this stuff packed up, I got it cooled off. There's a couple things that I think are important to note. The first thing is, you saw the times were off by about 10 or 12 seconds, whatever it was, and I started the JetBoil first. I would say that they probably had just about identical times as far as boiling times go. One thing that I really do like about this JetBoil is that it's the stability that it has. When you put that little stand on the bottom of that fuel can, that thing, you can stand these up in a pretty heavy wind and it's still going to be pretty sturdy. So that's one thing that's important to note there. When you run so I'm running the Pocket Rocket right now. I've got it on one of these big heavy Coleman fuel cans, so it's pretty stable. But when you run it on top of one of these, the smaller cans, it loses a little bit of that stability, and it gets kind of gets a little bit unlevel or unstable. And then on the JetBoil also, the cup locks into the system, so it's all pretty well tightened up, and once it's set in there, it's pretty solid. This setup, when the can, you got the burner on the can, and it's kind of sitting there, and then you put the GSI or whatever cup you've got, you put that cup on there, it's not very stable. Probably not going to tip over, but you never know. So a little less stable, but like I said, I call it that they had identical burn times. So it might have been off by 2 or 3 seconds either way. 5 ounces lighter for the Pocket Rocket. So if you're really looking to shave pounds, go with the Pocket Rocket. Get you one of these little cups. And to be honest, this is a stainless steel cup. You could get yourself a titanium cup and shave probably 3 to 4 more ounces off of that. So you could go really, really light. You would be around if you didn't run the little plastic cover that goes on the Pocket Rocket and you ran a titanium cup, I would say you would be really close to the 10 or 11 ounce mark for a cook system. So lots of different options there. With the JetBoil, you get what you get. You might be able to pitch the little stand in order to save some weight, but honestly, this thing doesn't weigh much. I didn't weigh it, so I can't tell you what it weighs, but I would venture to say this is probably no more than an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half. So hopefully that wraps it up, answers a few of those questions that people may have had about the weights and the different cans that you can run. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments box, and I'll be happy to answer them. It doesn't bother me. I'll redo tests if I need to, redo anything I need to. So, and also remember to like this video and subscribe. That'll help me out a lot. So here we go. Should have more reviews coming in the future. Thanks.